Are you tired of working the 9 to 5 grind, sacrificing your time for someone else's profits, and feeling like there's no way out? Trust me, I've been there. But the right home service business can change everything. I've spent almost 20 years in the industry, and I've seen people go from stuck in their job to financially independent. Today, I'm going to show you the best home service businesses you can start in 2024. These businesses have the potential to earn over $100,000 a year, backed by real data and experience. So let's get into it, starting with business number 1. Business number 1 is residential cleaning services. The residential cleaning business is expected to grow over 20% in the next few years, and it's in constant demand. Whether it's for busy families or residential turnovers, people always need their property cleaned. And with a low barrier to entry, this business is almost accessible to anyone. You don't need much more than a few cleaning supplies and a few basic marketing tools to get started. Now let's talk money. Gross profit margins in the residential cleaning services can reach up to 40-50%, especially if you start solo and keep your overhead low. A small residential cleaning business can easily generate over $100,000 in annual revenue, maybe the first couple years. The problem here is scaling. Once you start adding a lot of employees, keeping the quality good, it starts to get pretty tough. It's also a competitive space, so you have to have a good brand to stand out. Still, if you hustle and you have a reliable service, this is a promising way to make 6 figures. Business number 2 is lawn care and landscaping. This is one of the more popular home service businesses to start because it's in high demand and the business is constant. Residential and commercial properties both need lawn services. You can even start small with just a lawnmower, some basic tools, and a truck. Plus, with recurring customers over the busy seasons, you can quickly build up revenue. In terms of profit, lawn care services generally get around 20-30% gross profit. But if you're running solo, it can be higher for sure. With the right client base, you could earn $100,000 or more annually. But here's the downside. Lawn care can be seasonal, so depending on where you live, it can get kind of slow during the colder months, forcing you to find alternative work or lower your expenses significantly. Additionally, you'll need to put in some physical labor and you need to manage a team to grow your business. It's definitely a solid choice, but it comes with the issue of keeping cash flow consistent year-round. That said, with the right approach, you can make this business work for you. Business number 3 is HVAC, repair and maintenance. If you're looking for something with high pay potential and consistent demand, HVAC might be a great choice for you. Heating, ventilation, and air conditioning systems are critical to any home and business. And when they break down, people need help fast. HVAC is especially lucrative in extreme climate areas, where heating and cooling is a year-round necessity. Now, HVAC businesses can operate with gross profit margins around 50-60%, which is pretty high. A typical HVAC service call could range anywhere from $200 to $500. And hitting $100,000 your first year is achievable if you do your marketing correctly. However, HVAC requires special skills and partnerships with other technicians. There's also a much higher investment cost when it comes to starting an HVAC home service business. The cost of equipment, training, and certifications can set you back a little bit. But if you can overcome these barriers, the payoff is excellent. The biggest challenge here is the technical aspect. This isn't something you could just jump into without expertise. But if you're either willing to learn the trade or partner with someone who already knows the ropes, HVAC is a high profitable business with great earning potential. Business number 4 is Handyman Services. This is actually where I got my start. The beauty of a handyman business is its versatility. You get to work on a wide variety of projects. From simple home renovations to complex installations, the handyman home service business is perfect for someone who likes to work with their hands and also problem solving. You don't need a bunch of equipment to get started, and jobs can range from fixing a leaky faucet to assembling furniture or patching drywall. But let me tell you from personal experience, handyman work can throw you into some pretty weird situations. One of my first businesses was a repair and handyman service. And I'll tell you, I'll never forget the time a hair salon called me to fix one of their industrial hair dryers. You know, the ones that go over top of your head? And I opened the machine up and there were so many wires and crazy things, it looked like I was trying to defuse a bomb. And there was another time where I had to repair a conveyor belt at a grocery store, and I just never knew what I was going to get into next. But that's both the beauty and the challenge of being a handyman. But that unpredictability can be tough to manage. The profit potential here is solid, with gross profit margins up to 40 to 50%. But the randomness of the jobs can be a downside, and scheduling can get chaotic. This is when I realized over time that there's easier, more consistent home service businesses to operate. And that brings us to our fifth and final business. Business number 5 is house painting. House painting is the most straightforward and most profitable home service business that you could start. You don't need to be an expert painter to get going, and the demand is always there. Whether it's for new homeowners, those looking to just refresh their interiors, or even if they're trying to sell their property. Best of all, painting is simple. Unlike handyman work where random stuff pops up, painting is consistent. You're really just coloring things in. There's also little to no risk of breaking anything. The worst case scenario, you repaint something. Gross profit margins in the house painting business can reach over 50%, especially with the right pricing and efficient project management. It's one of the highest margin home services out there. I've seen businesses hit $1 million in sales in just a few years, focusing solely on residential repaints. It's consistent, it's straightforward, and with the right team and processes, you can scale it pretty well. If you want a business that is relatively stress-free and highly profitable, painting is the way to go. By the way, I actually own a house painting franchise, and if you're interested in learning about it, there's a link in the description below. So now that you know the best home service businesses to start in 2024, the next step is figuring out how to launch. That's why I linked the video right here that can walk you through starting your own home service business. So go ahead and give that a click and I'll see you over there.